moments, as if we each infantile crept from anywhere, hyperspace, horror flick, the heart of darkness, Palestine, to welcome him and help him out, who reciprocally had come to help each of us out.
If we wanted to be helped out.
For a small price or exchange of services, the location of Sue, who is not really his daughter.
I'm not that old.
May says you are. Sue, who is in truth an ally, did him a favor. He's here to repay it. I explained that Sue is a bit of an anarchist. Reciprocity makes her laugh.
You didn't know what you were getting into.
Somatic existence, falling profits. When you got involved with Sue, she's probably somewhere nearby, pissing in her pants, laughing. I don't think we are talking about the same person. Maybe he's a little nervous, so I tell him I'm cold, could use an extra jacket. He puts it around my shoulders, then says he's ready for Sue. I remind him that we aren't talking about the same person, that we don't know who's Sue. Ours is a breakaway type, about to explode. Her feet strapped to bomb balls. She walks on them.
Supported by canes.
Her clit is a fuse.
I got from a suicide bomber.
She'll be soaring soon.
To claim her rightful place, colloquially speaking, inside hole.
Because I won't give him his jacket back, he steps out of his pants, hands them to me, disappears into the underground, wearing only bikini briefs, a white shirt, and ugly tie. I've told this story about 1,000,000 times, but it keeps coming back to haunt me. Every time I look down, I think about that guy needing Sue for no apparent reason. Even now that I've found her, I wonder where she disappeared to. It gets spooky. I mean, I was standing looking at my feet in the dark. I can't see the street 5 floors below. The rent's cheap. Tons of kids, good shopping, and us without Sue. The guy gave me his clothes. I saw him go under. Sue just poof. It's her who keeps me on the story. His pants don't mean a thing to me. Though I keep them around, useless as they are, they make no sense whatsoever.
Mein Name ist a broken cork.
When Sue comes back, she's looking like a robot. She heard it, she heard it.
I wanted me. I wanted me.
That's what she talks about in her robot way. She can be cruel, usually is cruel. It's programmed, she says.
To say things you don't want to hear.
She's a machine running on smooth, expressing desires she doesn't really have. It's her father who hollers, bothers her, and no pants definitely isn't her father.
Acted like a clown. None of his 3 cars worked. Something cement fell on the job. He couldn't move.
Then told her he loved her.
The wrong way. That was the last straw.
He didn't know what she was going to do with the information.
It wasn't information. He was entirely incapable of comprehending. Nonsense is all that makes sense. Where did no pants go?
She wants to know.
What he did was pretty funny.
So I need you to stop talking.
10 more minutes. Then we will run the film backwards.
So she talks for 10 minutes. That's why we put up with her. Plus, I've locked myself out of my apartment, hole in the wall with a mean little door. So we're just outside some boarded up dive with a bunch of equipment. She doesn't stop, and we don't want her to.
Nobody can explain me away. Can anybody explain you away?
This is her next topic, being explained away. It's her, the whole person, the robot and the cat.
When I climb onto someone's lap and spit, that's when I'm acting like a cat. Or when I leave you guys to clean up your own mess and keep mine to myself, not sharing in your shit. Would you like to live in an airport?
This is when something strange happens. A bulldozer starts up behind us. We're running backwards away from it, and Sue just stands there. She looks the guy in the eye who's driving it. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't know what she's doing.
It's sublime.
Some kid who's passing out ads for rock bands that sponsor extreme right candidates runs over to her, grabs her upper arm, yanks her out of the way. She's laughing, it's crazy. The kid asks her to meet him at a party with the band. The bulldozer cuts the engine. Everything's quiet. The bulldozer driver just sits there. Sue blinks at the boy. Blinks again, a plastic doll.
You didn't have to do that.
She says, sure, I did, he says, not meaning it, like he's shouldering a secret.
Take advantage of me like that?
She blinks. Slut. He slips up, cuts out with his scrubbed up neck, turning red. That's how it is with her. Strangers never figure, except something I'll tell you about later.
We are bored with this construction site.
So we go hang out in front of the Russian Kino to see if we can get it to a show. And all you have to do is wait for the taker to open the door, take tickets and go to the next door. It's a DDR film about an actor named Goya.
I know, I've heard the name.
Sue says it's her dad.
He had a lot of children and he died in the 1968 rebellion.
That makes you at least 37.
You're right. You're always right. It's about time I left school.
We're trying to figure out what takes Goya, who is no way your dad, Sue, so get off it. This is the Inquisition to the breaking point. And whether or not it was insanity that saved Goya from execution, his was wits, or the Grand Inquisitor's fear of transubstantiation. Each body subject to law is outside it, like me and Sue.
Reborn in every uprising, prepared for what comes next. We may very well be the vessels of unborn things trying to get out.
It took some effort to get back into the apartment. I didn't want to alert the landlord, who thinks I'm someone else, or at least doesn't want to know about my friends, or that my job is iffy, or how I scrape my rent together and don't pay for food very often. Sometimes it's okay to pay for food sometimes. The retailers have to live too. I didn't really want Sue to come in. May was with us but went home after criticizing me. I like May. She enjoys waiting for things to happen, like to be in between one thing and another. That's where everything really happens anyway, she says. She's a bit of a philosopher, she's like her mom, which I appreciate more than some. May thought it was a bad idea for me to let Sue in. May says,
Sue needs to take care of herself if she's going to be so mean. She screens things out too much. She won't even know she's at your place. She will say it's hers.
But I have this fantasy that's about my closet, a walk-in almost as big in as my one room. It's weird. And I only have a couple of things in it, a jacket, a pink shirt, sturdy boots, a big scarf, maybe something else. No pants jacket, and trousers. I'm gonna make Sue a nest and see if she won't sleep in it. I get everybody to find or give me something soft. We break into the apartment, and while everybody else is drinking beer, I make this nest, and Sue goes in there, and I close the door. Now, she's in there most of the time. I don't think this is any kind of ultimate solution or anything. She's probably just as mean as she's always been. This experiment of the intuition, I'll call it, gives me something to think about that's not just in any old public space you happen to run into. I don't really know what happens when I'm gone. I come, go, nothing changes. Sue nests. The other day, with the door open, me on the outside of the closet and Sue in her nest, she wanted to talk about Immanuel Kant. At first, I wasn't going to go there. He's just something you're supposed to know. But then I realized she was actually thinking. Thinking is an object of neglect, in my opinion, so we talked for a while. It was curious because she kept saying Kant's ideas were just like hers, rather than vice versa. Her ideas like his. Hatching starts with her. Sunlight aggressively breaks the window, open at the seam, a wrathful artifact turned against destruction.
As if artfulness was the mother I never had.
Or wanted? I ask her. Because I don't believe her stories. Sue twists a long strand of oily hair between two fingers and her thumb, while her eyes move around at my chest, and my heart sticks and thumps.
Certain ideas will be revised under my aegis.
Curling onto her side, this somatic situation adjacent to grief where her nouns relaxed in the agile armature that held her gargoyle self in the aesthete sound of a pop gone hard.
As if tension were only living bones swept around by the whirl of mental windings of an old canyon flow.
Engaged my thoughts more vividly than all the problems one faces at dawn.
When the fighting is starting up again, outside the purview of apartment dwelling,
I clamber up old stairs, guilty as an elder swan who has driven from a sound sleep
in the wrong spot,
having drifted after a morsel in the weeds of the early AM.
without thinking who shares this with me, this.
Why are you here? Or where are you gone? That Sue Shields on the tip of her tongue with her lips in a small pout.
You know, I've been molded by forces beyond my control.
Picture one of them in the form of a man who suggested that if I were to be a writer, I should live in my dreams.
So I turned on him between my legs, and he, having become an object in my head,
Betrayed the woman of his own trance.
the one who held him back when he was leaping from a ridge.
His was an instruction I knew instinctively how to follow, having been brought up in a household of raving lunatics whose brains were more active than their libidos. I retreated to the self-conscious zone where my uncles couldn't reach me. Sue does not need to know all that much about my personal history, while she retains her place in the nest.
Which grows faster on each passing day.
Tension is necessary for living. two guys on a bus, one with natural blonde locks, the other dyed black, reading aloud. These are my new friends. Ever since I tried to take Blackhead's object of desire, a leather box that once held an old telescope or binoculars in the last half of the 19th century, softened with use, the color of coal, now harboring a pulp novel. That's what he reads aloud so that about 30 or 40 people hear him. Ricky held the duck by the throat, gave it a loud whack, and tossed it on the grave of his best friend. And Blondie asks, is it dead, the duck? No, it takes off in the next sentence. Then why did Ricky quack? At which point the bus squeaks to a stop. People look them over, get off, the little box jiggles in the seat at Blackhead's side. I whisk it up, and they catch me. We have no secrets, they say. We have given ourselves away and are fearless. This is the pact I am to agree to, which I do, but I don't tell them about Sue or where I live. They know I'm lying, ascribing this to the dangers of gender, the risks one takes to associate, otherwise there would be no living.
Lying is that part of living that protects a secret from a devastation of a crush.
And the small kindnesses one can observe in the town of Spandau, a plain bauble on the skirt of the city.
For someone might take it off you.
It always comes back to that.
I see it as a trap.
And Sue, the paradox of unformed, shallow ways made contrary by a certain depth of feeling. This paradox of Sue is not unlike a system designed to pull threads out from the cloth they constitute, unraveling them every which way until the entire world is wrapped in the thing no one can see from under your skin.